What is up, guys? It's your boy, Rick Grandmaster Cacus, and today we are going to be showcasing how to complete the Arms Dealer Nightfall on Grandmaster difficulty as fast and easily as possible. And this is pretty darn important. In fact, every single week the Arms Dealer is the featured Nightfall is a very important week for Destiny 2, and that's because this is by far, if you're doing things right, hence the guide, the easiest and the fastest Nightfall to complete basically on any difficulty, including Grandmaster. So if you're looking to farm exotic armor, Nightfall weapons, Ascendant Shards, all of that good stuff, you should absolutely be farming when Arms Dealer is available. So let's get things started with my recommended loadouts, and we do have a loadout for all of the different classes. First off, I was on a Titan, and we're doing things pretty differently. We're not using Void 3.0. In fact, I am actually a Striker. Specifically, I'm utilizing Thunder Crash. And the reason is, I need my super to do as much damage as possible, and we'll go over why later. Now, as for the weaponry, firstly, I have an incredible Pardon Our Dust roll with autoloading, blinding, and then demolitionist. Now, if you do have Vorpal instead, that's also going to be good, and this was very good in terms of utility. Blinding grenades are just so darn useful in higher level content, making enemies just unable to shoot you back. Next, I'm actually using a bottom dollar. This is because I really want a Void primary because there's almost all Void shields in this strike until the very end, and this one has subsistence and then explosive payload. I love explosive, that extra explosive damage has infinite range, and you end up doing about 15% more damage just with every single shot, and this hand cannon is going to help me deal with those unstoppable champions. Then for my heavy, I'm using the Galahorn. We'll go over why later, but this thing is fantastic. Then, as for my armor, I'm using the Cuirass of the Falling Star. That's going to make my Thunder Crash do even more damage. Again, we just want absolute max burst DPS. Now, in terms of the mods, I'm actually going to be utilizing stuff like Taking Charge, ways to get charge with light, especially I do have Blast Radius as well, so I can just get multi-kills with my Galahorn and get charge with light. And then I'm going to end things off with Argent Ordnance so I can do more damage with my rocket launcher when I'm charged with light. Then moving on from there, in terms of my other teammates, we have a Hunter, a Night Stalker Hunter. You really want Mobius Quiver, again for that max DPS, a Vortex Grenade, and then he's using Trapper's Ambush and Vanishing Step as the aspects just for maximum invisibility. Then we've got Echo of Undermining to let your grenades weaken targets. We've got Echo of Persistence for invisibility lasting longer, and then Echo of Obscurity to go invisible after getting finishers. And that's really important when we get to the armor, but firstly, the weapons, we have an Arbalest to deal with those barrier champions, so darn good. We have a Grid Skipper, again, a Void Pulse Rifle, mostly Void Shields to deal with those Unstoppables, and then lastly, we do have just a good Hezen Vengeance here. And he's using that because it's solar. Now moving on to the armor pieces, firstly the exotic is the Aeon Swift with the Sect of Insight. This means that when you finish champions or mini bosses, you spawn heavy ammo for your teammates. But guys, this actually stacks with Lucent Finisher, a new seasonal mod, which says if you defeat a Lucent Hive or champion with your finisher, you spawn heavy for you and your allies. So you'll actually see in the background gameplay, when this hunter goes and finishes a champion, I get 2 heavy bricks, which is an insane amount of heavy. And that right there is what influences the reason as to why I'm utilizing the Galahorn. I'm getting so much heavy ammo that I'm yeeting that Galahorn out at everything. But also importantly, within this Grandmaster, as you can see, it has acute solar burn, which means that you take 50% more solar damage, so keep that in mind. Like the boss, his sniper and Scion snipers will absolutely crush you, but you want to be utilizing solar weaponry, hence the Hazen Vengeance, and again, hence the Galahorn. It's doing 25% more damage than it normally would. If you don't have the Galahorn, something like the 1K Voices, or again, some other cracked solar heavy weapons would be ideal here. But moving on from there, in terms of some of the other mods here, Volatile Flow with the Grid Skipper, Reaping Wellmaker because utilizing your class ability so much going invisible, Well of Utility is a great one, Seeking Wells, if you are utilizing wells, try to fit in a Seeking Wells mod. Just letting you be behind cover and still get those wells sometimes will enable all your, mods while not having to put yourself in danger. But moving on from there, guys, we have the Warlock, and he's using a Cataclysm Nova Bomb. Again, you want max damage output, Vortex Grenades, then Feed the Void combined with Chaos Accelerant for the aspects, and the fragments are going to be Echo of Undermining for that weaken effect, Echo of Exchange for more grenade energy on melee final blows, and then lastly, Echo of Remnants to make those grenades last longer. Then for the weaponry, he actually started out with the Secession, just a good sniper rifle, but found he didn't really use it at all just because you're shooting so many Galahorns, you don't really need this kind of sniper rifle, and so he actually ended up switching to the same thing I was using, a Blinding Grenade Launcher, just for that utility. Then in terms of other weapons, we are using the Under Your Skin here with Archer's Tempo plus Explosive Head as, again, another Void weapon, this time to deal with the Barrier Champions. You could also utilize the Pointed Inquiry Scout Rifle. That is another fantastic choice here if you are the one dealing with the Barrier Champions. And then again, a Galahorn. As for the armor, we are using the Controverse Hold to let you throw out so many of those incredibly powerful Vortex Grenades, combined with stuff like Volatile Flow, Font of Might, Well of Tenacity, kind of the usual Void Elemental Well build packaging, and then Elemental Ordnance to easily trigger all of that stuff. The one other thing you should use specifically for this guy is Devouring Depths. So when you have Devour active, your super is going to do more damage, which obviously is going to matter here. We do also have Elemental Armaments for a little bit more wells. So that's it for the loadouts. Let's talk about the tips for completing this Nightfall as fast as possible. So, the first tip is definitely don't ignore those Threshers. When you see them spawn, yeet a couple Galahorn rounds at them, and you'll thank me later. They can absolutely destroy you, especially with acute solar burn active. Next up, I want to highlight this section of the strike specifically. When you get on your Sparrow, you want to kind of make a hard left. You can skip all of these enemies. There's a ton that spawn over to the right. You can jump up here. There's one champion you have to deal with, and you can end up dealing with that guy pretty fast if you're coordinated, and the Galahorn rounds should also kill nearby enemies as well. And once you take that guy out, hop back on your Sparrows, and hopefully don't have a teammate die here, and then just yeet your way forward. Now, once you get to the tank part, again, yeet those Galahorn rounds, kill that thing as fast as possible. In this section, you are going to have a lot of champions spawning in very close proximity, like you're going to have the two barrier champions right next to one another, so just make sure that the hunter has invisibility up, isn't going in there to get instantly stomped, like you're seeing right here. And then later on, you're going to have 3 Unstoppables all spawn at the same time, so make sure to stun all 3 of them and then yeet over some Galahorn shots. Hopefully, 1 or 2 will end up weak enough for a finisher to get that heavy ammo back. And you really do want that heavy ammo back, because as you make your way forward, you are in this final room here, and in this room, I think at this point, you kind of want to be conserving ammo. There's going to be 1 more unstop and then 2 more barriers. Make sure you can finish at least 2 of those guys to spawn ammo, because you really want completely full heavy ammo going into the boss fight, because you are going to use all of it, and you need, and I really mean need, to kill the boss in one phase. Otherwise, this Grandmaster is going to take significantly longer and be significantly more difficult. Luckily, I do have some tips to help get that one phase on the boss. So, first off, when you get to the end of this kind of final area, there's going to be an object you can activate. Do not activate this. What you actually want to do is send one teammate up the chain, as you can see in the background gameplay. So that teammate can actually just jump up each link in the chain and get higher and higher and higher. As they go to the top, once they get near the top, that is actually going to essentially spawn the boss early, because the boss thinks that you've gotten all the way up the elevator to that point already. But that guy can go up the chain, and then importantly, you want to let him come back down and then activate this object. And that is going to have the boss come out early. There's going to be a couple more enemies you have to kill, and then the elevator will start going up. But now the boss is going to be out for the entirety of that elevator ride, whereas otherwise he would appear like halfway through. So this means that while you're riding the elevator up, as you can see, you can be yeeting Galahorns and shooting potentially your supers and all that stuff, and just doing as much damage as possible before you even get to the top of the elevator ride and you're in that final boss arena. So the boss is going to be either dead or nearly dead by the time you get up there, and then hopefully, as you can see in the background gameplay, you can finish that boss off, and then he doesn't even do any of his boss mechanics, which involves him jumping away to one of the kind of towers being covered by a shield. You have to deal with so many more enemies. You have to go and get a ball and dunk it with all these enemies and thresher ships shooting at you. So definitely killing the boss before all of that is the play. But importantly, this can go wrong. Again, with the acute burn modifier, his sniper can one-shot you. So if you don't wait for your teammate to get down from the chain, as you can see, he can just get sniped in midair. And if you're being careless and not hiding behind cover when you can actually hear those audio cues for when the sniper is about to fire, and the actual line, the laser sight from it will glow brighter and brighter. So when that's happening, you want to avoid the shot. You'll hear the shot go off, and then you come out of cover, shoot all of your Galahorns, all of that stuff. If you're not doing that, again, you can get sniped on the elevator ride, and you'll have a situation that happened to us where we have two teammates dead. I have to revive them, and then you have to do the part where the boss jumps away and all of that stuff. So absolutely, you have to time those sniper shots. You want to make sure everyone is undercover in safety before you're activating that ride up, so that you are not sniped while you're going up. And so guys, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.